Dan Hardy.
Dan Hardy. I just talked about Dan Hooker.
Slip.
Dan Hardy has actually said he's waiting on a contract or a request from the UFC to fight Matt Brown. Dan Hardy hasn't fought in a very long period of time. And Matt Brown has continued to stay active outside his kind of era in martial arts. You know, Matt Brown just coming off a loss to Carlos Condit by unanimous, I believe it was unanimous decision. Matt Brown is very much keen to get started on Dan Hardy. So Dan Hardy has actually been eyeing coming back to the UFC and enjoying a post-retirement fight.
Yeah.
And he actually said live on Twitter, he actually put out, who would like to, fight me? I want someone to fight me. I need this post-retirement fight to be worth it. We see Matt Brown in the comments. He sent a little gift saying, I can help you out there. Matt Brown's clearly put up his hand for someone who is in a similar era as him in the UFC, from when, their careers kind of align. However, Dan Hardy, retired from MMA altogether and continued to be an analyst and a commentator.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt Brown actually continued his career. So Dan Hardy hasn't fought in a very long period of time. However, he's very keen to start going again, and he wants the preparation to be worth it by fighting Matt Brown.
He's 38 as well.
Is he 38?
He's 38. Dan Hardy's 38. Matt Brown's not too far off him.
I think a very similar age.
Yeah, well, Dan Hardy wants the fight to be in England, but that's an issue because right now England's still going through the whole COVID situation.
Yes.
And back into lockdown, it's pretty rough over in England. So, but I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast today. Florida is the state at the moment that just has, because it had a crowd for the Canelo fight. So what they think they want to do right now is they were hoping to move not the one of the UFC's upcoming to Florida because they want everyone back in front of those nice large crowds and all that.
They don't want to start doing these big UFC events if they don't fill up the seats to 100%.
Yeah, that's the thing. And so I don't know what the COVID situation right now is like, but hopefully it's going to really start to get more and more under control now that we have a vaccine. And, if there's two people who at least to some degree deserve, to go out on a high in front of those lights, which they've sacrificed so much for, and Dan Hardy and Matt Brown, because Matt Brown's a pioneer. Dan Hardy, he's known for his fight against GSP. He went on a pretty bad losing stint, and then he ended up winning his last fight in the UFC, and he has
last two fights.
Yeah, last two fights.
Duane Ludwig and Amir Sadola.
Yeah.
And that was back in September 2012.
Yeah, there you go. So
that's 9 years ago.
9 years ago. So, and Dan Hardy's put so much effort into the UFC as a commentator and analyst in general.
Neither one has been very far from the UFC. Dan Hooker, stop saying Dan Hooker. Dan Hardy has been analyzing fights very, very regularly. He's kept his mind sharp. Hasn't completely, some fighters, when they leave the UFC, they never want to watch a fight again.
Yeah.
They don't want to look at it again. However, Dan Hardy, he left on a 2-fight win streak. He retired from the UFC. He's put his gloves up. But he's continued to love the sport and analyze it really well. Matt Brown has done kind of the opposite. Instead of mental conditioning for the UFC, he's more so done the physical conditioning.
Yeah.
He's continued to stay physically active and mentally active.
Yeah.
So, Dan Hardy has just said, he wrote on February 26th, he said, I'm waiting on the call from the UFC, ready to accept.
Yeah.
So he's ready, he's game. It sounds like